Hi everyone. My name is Vera Adel, and I dearly welcome you on my page and on this live chat with my very, very dear friend Selena. Hi, Selena.
Hi, how are you? So
I'm
nice to
good.
meet you.
I'm so happy that you accepted my invitation,
Oh,
and um, it's very nice from you that you're gonna share your experience, which
so
you went through, and maybe it will help. I hope that it will help other ladies. That's why actually we are doing this live stream. Okay. My first question is like, let's take it step by step. I
sure.
would like to ask you, why did you decide to move to Morocco?
So I've been in Morocco now 4.5 years. I came just for a holiday actually, and the first time I came, I hated it, and then I came again with my sister a second time and fell in love with the country, and I wanted to just see what it would be like to live here. So I gave myself a year to test it out, but I'm still here. I love living here. It's a great country to live.
I agree with you. I lived there for
Yeah,
1 year only.
yeah,
That's why I met you, and it's my favorite country in the planet.
yeah.
Anyway, okay. Tell me, how did you meet your ex?
So I'd met him the first time I'd come. He was working in a Riyadh at the time, but we didn't really keep in contact. When I came back the second time, I contacted him just to sort of help me out with a few things I needed. And that's it. We stayed friends, and bit by bit, we developed a relationship
Okay.
after I'd moved here already.
Okay. So how long you have been together?
We were together 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
3 years officially that we were together.
Okay. And the relationship at the beginning was totally normal. You didn't see any signs of anything.
Looking back at the time, of course, I didn't. But looking back now, I did feel quite uneasy because he had a very strange relationship with his family. Um, so I think it's very telling when you can see someone who's close to you, how they treat others that are close to them. I think that is like the biggest probably sign that I chose to ignore, I guess. I didn't see it, or I didn't want to see it at the time. But I think that was definitely the first sign that I started to see. And then bit by bit, I started to see some anger management issues with people outside, um, and then his sort of behavior towards me or what I was doing started to become more suspicious. Um, and a lot of gaslighting was happening where he was making me think I was doing things that I wasn't doing. So it really started to emotionally play with my mind, honestly. But it was very slow, very slow. I really didn't pick up on it until much later, much later.
Okay, so let's say when you look back, when these things start to appear, like, okay, the relationship, it was at the beginning, but you didn't see it with his family, I mean, but the other things like to be like aggressive and jealous.
I'd say probably within the first, maybe after the first year, sort of 8, 9 months, the first year I started to see this kind of behavior, and we'd start to sort of argue and so on. But when you're in love with someone, you choose to ignore these things. So when you apologize to each other, you go back to being how you were in love and so on. And so you choose to ignore all of these signs that you know are still there, but I started to see also other things. I felt like maybe he had some issues sort of mentally, but as you know, sort of the world over, mental health issues are such a stigma in society. People don't want to accept them, and more so here, people really ignore them. So anytime I did start to bring this up, he would completely ignore it, and just sort of act like I was being crazy, and of course didn't want to go and see a doctor. His family, his sister actually has been diagnosed also. She has bipolar disorder. I'm quite sure his mom has the same, but she obviously hasn't been diagnosed. And I felt like maybe he had something similar, but of course he wouldn't see a doctor. So in the first stages, we could never sort of get past this.
Okay, so obviously you are saying that his family, they knew about this, what's going on in your relationship.
Yes, yes. I mean, The thing with my ex was he was very vocal. When he was angry, he had to shout and scream and let everybody know about the issues, sort of more to victimize himself and make a scandal, rather than talk it out with me. So yeah, they definitely knew what was going on. We did have a period where I couldn't bear to be anywhere near him, so I did live with his mom and his sister for a little while, and they really tried to talk sense into him or try and get him to talk it through with me. But I think this is where it becomes more than just sort of abusive behavior. I think he really had mental health issues that he needed to see somebody for, but he wasn't seeing anybody, and this was escalating the whole situation, honestly.
Okay. I know that after you reached the to let him go to see the specialist, did
Yeah,
the
obviously,
things
yeah,
change?
we had a break, and then he came back and said he was finally ready to go and see somebody. So we did go and see someone, and he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and he was given medication, which he started. Things did get much better for a while. The issue is that he was also smoking quite a lot of hashish at the same time, which he was finding really hard to let go of. So this counter affected the medication, to be honest. So it just escalated more, and then every time there was anger or an argument, he would stop taking medication. And with these kind of medications, you cannot stop and start, stop and start. It makes you 10 times worse.
Okay. Um, okay. You are saying that the family they try to interfere, they try to help, but
They
it
did.
didn't.
No, I mean, he would not listen to anybody. He would not listen to anybody. I tried with his uncles, with his mom. I mean, nobody. There's nobody that he would listen to at all. My family also intervened. I think there was just a point. The breaking point was just when my mom, because he has quite a good relationship with my mom, as opposed to his own mother, and she managed to sort of coax him into giving me some space, and that was kind of when finally he sort of left. Um, and that for me was like, that's the time I finally was able to break away from him. But his own family, no, I mean, he just wouldn't listen. He just wouldn't listen to anything they had to say. He blamed them for siding with me and not siding with him, so it caused massive disruption with his relationship with his own family, which, as far as I know, he still doesn't speak to them now. So
Okay. Okay. And what he actually wanted from you, what was his main issue? Like he was jealous and what?
I mean, looking back, I think when we first met, obviously I was new here and I didn't know much, but as time went on, I managed to sort of make my own friends, build a community, get a job, and so on. And so I think from his perspective, he started to feel very insecure within himself because I didn't need him anymore. I could do things on my own. And he felt like I was moving further and further away from him. So the more I was moving away from him, the more he felt that I would find somebody else, somebody better, etc., etc. So there was anything that would happen, it had to be because there was another man on the scene or I was doing something behind his back. And so if I'm out with friends, he would be calling me. He would want video call to see where I was. He would want proof where I was. I mean, it was horrendous. It was horrendous. For the longest time, it was really sad that he couldn't trust me at all in anything I was doing. He came to my workplace, caused a massive scandal at work with my bosses in front of all the staff. So yeah, it was just really horrible time. Honestly, really horrible time.
And I know even when this happened, you were still trying to give him the chance
Yes,
to
I
fix
was.
it.
I
What?
was because I really felt I knew he had a lot of trauma from his childhood, sort of quite similar to mine. And I just wanted to sort of help him through it, honestly. And I really thought I could help him. But if someone doesn't want to help themselves, it's very hard. It's very hard to get them to make the step. He wouldn't stop smoking. He didn't want to try. He was taking the medication, but it's not going to work if you're not doing it properly. So
Okay, this is true. This is true that the decision must come from him, but
yeah.
it's not. Nobody can do anything for him actually.
Yeah.
Yes. So, the main breaking point, and after how long did you decide? Now that's it, finish. I'm done.
3 years. Yeah, I mean, it's been 3 years that I decided that no, I just couldn't do it. I was miserable. I was very sad inside. I was living just felt dead. I felt dead inside. I didn't feel like myself anymore. I felt like I'd lost the person that I was. I hardly smiled. I didn't want to do anything. I wasn't looking after myself. I just became a shell of a person, honestly. So that's when I decided I just didn't want to be around him anymore. And so yeah, he agreed to have sort of a separation, which was a miracle, really. But I say thanks to my mom for that, for helping out with that. And then after that, I knew I would never go back to him again, ever.
Okay, but your mom, she's not with you, so you were always discussing with her online or phone
Yeah,
calls or.
on the phone, on the phone. I mean, she knew I was miserable. But you know, my mom comes from an older generation where they want you to have a relationship. They want you to be married and in a stable relationship and have someone look after you. And it was very hard from this distance to explain to her the amount of abuse that was going on a daily basis, the emotional, mental abuse more than anything else. You know, he did get violent quite a bit, where he was breaking things and he hit me a couple of times, and it did get very serious in that regard. Um, and sort of smashing up things around the house and so on. But really, the overall mental and emotional abuse was way more than any violent abuse that he sort of put on me. So yeah, I mean, my mom didn't understand, and she couldn't understand because she wasn't here, you know, and it was very hard. I am really grateful that I have such great friends here, you know, because when you live in another country and you don't have your close family around you, it's very difficult. But he really played on that fact that I didn't have anybody. He really, really played that he could really take advantage and knew that I couldn't really do anything. You know, the threats and so on used to continue all the time, all the time.
Mhm. Okay, so but what about the breakup? How it went? I think it wasn't easy at all, huh?
No, it wasn't easy. He left, but there was continuous messages, constant calls, very abusive, really awful messages. Things I can't even sort of really say, just that he would accuse me of, or what he thought I was, and what an awful person I am, and how I ruined his life, etc. So a lot of him victimizing himself, and giving me a lot of the blame. And to the point where even, you know, even now, I've blocked him from my phone and so on, but he still emails me and says that, you know, everything is my fault and he doesn't understand why we broke up, etc., etc. It must have been obviously because there was another man, because I wanted to be with somebody else, etc., etc. So these things are still, and this is where I think the mental health issue comes into it more than, there's no logical scenario in his mind. He cannot see anything logically, so it's a lot of victimization on his part, really. And that's the story he tells, you know, people that he's close to. That's still the story he tells everyone. So.
Really. And tell me honestly, are you afraid if you're gonna meet him?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I am. He still sends me threats and so on. Obviously now they're via email. You know, some days he'll send me really nice messages, or he'll send me old photos of when we were together, and other days like massively threatening messages where he's threatening me or threatening to do something to me or make my life a misery, and threatening that he won't leave me alone until I leave Morocco, etc., etc. Um, People have said to me that I should really go to the police and so on. But honestly, with his mental health issue, I just don't want to escalate the situation even more. I feel like if I just leave it alone, eventually he will stop. Having said that, he knows where I live. So, yes, when I leave my house, I still look out around me before I leave. I still have it in my mind when I come home. Is he going to be in the corridors? I mean, it's a horrible way to live, really. It's a horrible way to live.
I can
And I've
imagine.
already moved 3 times. I really don't want to do it again. You know, I really don't want to do it again. So I'm trying to be strong. I mean, at the moment, I live in a residence where I have guardians and so on. They're aware of the situation. But yeah, you still feel afraid. At work, I still look out for him in case he comes. The guardians at the school know where I work to look out for him. I mean, yeah, it's not a normal situation at all.
Don't you think that you are giving him like time, like exactly like you took time to leave him. Now maybe if it will continue like this, you are like really avoiding to call the police or something. Don't you think you are like giving him time also to reach this point that
But
you
I
are
don't know,
still?
because I think I look at the scenario of me calling the police, what is going to happen? Yes, he might be arrested, but for how long? And then if once he's out because he's not thinking rationally, then I think he would be even worse.
Okay.
Even worse. That's how I feel. From what I know and what I've experienced with him, that's what I think. I think it would be even worse. It would just escalate the situation so much more.
Mhm.
Where I already feel so much better now that he's not in my life and I can have somewhat, normal life. Even obviously I'm still going through some situation where I'm still not 100% safe.
I understand. Um, uh, Sorry, that's my dog. let's just make it a little bit lighter because it became so sad. But do you feel like a relief now when he is not in your life, or still there is like a 50-50 stress?
No, no. I feel like my old self again now. I feel completely like my old self. I feel so much happier. I feel so much freer. And when you look back, you think, why did I stay for so long? I knew from after the first year, why did I just still stay and keep trying when I just should have let it go? You can see much earlier on that it was not going to work.
Yeah, I see the old Selena. She just like rise up again. Only on the Instagram. I wish I can see in real. But tell me, like, you will have some advice for the ladies which are going through the similar issues like yours.
I think the biggest thing I would say is don't keep it to yourself. I think if you remember when you were here, you could see the sort of person I was, and I wasn't really talking about my situation. Even though I knew exactly what was happening, I couldn't talk about it because I felt ashamed, because I felt like I wanted to help him. Um, and I didn't want to admit to how bad the situation was. My one advice would be definitely talk to those people around you. It's really important. I think once I started talking to people, and you remember my Facebook page, I put up a Facebook page telling people, and so many people was completely shocked because they had no idea that this was going on because I kept it quiet for so long.
Yes,
But the moment you start talking about it, the moment I started talking about it, it just completely changed my perspective. And I really was like, what the hell am I doing? Why am I still here? And it gave me strength. People around you care about you. It gives you strength. It gives you courage. But when you're hiding it and you're keeping it to yourself, you're just letting the abuse continue. It's
it's
never going
tough.
to stop. Yeah, it's
It's
never going to stop.
yes, yes. I was seeing everything what was going inside you, but we weren't ready actually in this time to open and to change. It's a normal process. I think in many women are going through.
Yeah.
Actually, it's sad.
Um, we get into relationships when we're abroad, and I think maybe we see some red flags early on, but we choose to ignore them because we want to see the good in people. I think that's just it's human nature. We want to see the good in people, so we try and ignore it, and we see that there is cultural differences. But I think it's important to see the red flags, not to be overly suspicious, but to at least acknowledge that there is an issue, there is a problem, and not get too heavily involved in the long term when these are very, very apparent. I think that's
Also,
where a lot of us go wrong, to be honest.
also what I think when the ladies are in the relationship in the abroad and they are alone, they
Yeah,
like feeling like I must prove that I'm not the one they are talking about in the newspapers.
yeah,
I have a good relationship. My partner is good. It's not happening to me, and they are just telling themselves these lies.
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. No. I think we do lie to ourselves, and we want to be seen as having a successful relationship, and we try and make it successful. Because I'm not saying all of it was bad. Of course, it wasn't. And when he was in one of his good moods, he was amazing. He was incredible person, helpful, kind. You remember he used to help me do all the things for the ladies group. He would be
yeah,
incredibly kind and gentle and so on. And so you hold on to those more because you really want that person to continue to be that person. But it just doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that at all. Yeah.
Yes, that's true. It's true. I saw him many times. I will never say that this is happening.
No,
Actually,
exactly.
he's having a good impression as a person.
Yeah.
Very, very, friendly, very.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's as the nice side of, I mean, the nice side of him, the normal side, I want to say, was amazing, really amazing, loving, caring individual.
Yes. It's very, very. I don't know how to use the correct word in English. Sorry, I'm not good English speaking, but it's actually very strong from you that you still stay in the country, in Morocco, and it didn't make you to hate the total country, all the country, and all the men, all Moroccans, you know.
No, it didn't. I did think about leaving. Honestly, I did think about leaving a lot. I did think about leaving even the city, moving to another city, or going back to England. Um, but ultimately, I was like, why should I? I love it here. I have a great community. I have a good job. I really have stability here. Why should I leave it for somebody else? I don't want to do that. I don't want to. I'd rather just not stand up and fight, but at least stand up to this kind of nonsense. And yes, while I'm scared that I'm going to run into him, I'm also not scared of him anymore like I was. He has no hold over me. He has no control over me. There is nothing he can really, really do to me that would hurt me now. So mentally, I'm completely separated to how I was with him. Completely.
I think it's nice that you set up everything in your head, and you work so hard to build everything in there. It was, I think, mainly your effort to reach where are you now and what you have.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, it was hard. It was hard. It was a journey for me. But Morocco is an incredible country. I think there's so much opportunity here. You can really, really thrive. There's some great people. You can really make some good contacts here, good friends. And yeah, so I don't feel like I miss England. I don't feel like I miss home. I miss my family, of course, but I don't feel the need to like return home because I feel like this is my home now. This is how I feel. I feel like this is my home.
I I can feel the same. So you belong to Morocco.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like I do too. I feel like I do too. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, he sent me an email because he'd seen me drive past. So obviously, it's not. Marrakesh is not that big. I mean, I think eventually we probably will run into each other. The miracle is that he hasn't come back to where I'm living, which is what my main worry was. You remember I spoke to you about it. I was worried he was going to come back, but so far it's been great. He hasn't. So I'm hoping that this will continue and hopefully life will return to completely normal, where I don't need to be worried about bumping into him and so on.
Okay. I have like a last maybe question for you. Like, did this experience change in general your view on the men, Moroccan men, or in men general? Or
Um, it's made me more careful. It's made me more careful. It's made me wary, I guess. Not of Moroccan men necessarily, but men in general. I think it's definitely made me. It was a big lesson. It was a really big lesson. You can hear about abuse from other people, but until you go through something like this yourself, it really does change you. And sometimes people change for the better, sometimes for the worst. But I do feel like I'm much more careful now with who I interact with or what I'm saying or what I'm not saying or what I'm doing. Definitely, I think it makes a massive difference. But for men in general, not just Moroccan men, honestly. I mean, we hear a lot of horror stories in Morocco. I'm sure in Egypt too, we hear a lot of stories that go bad. But it's not always the case. I think it's just each
yeah,
individual is each individual, they have their own story. So
I'm glad to hear this. Actually, it's good. Good for you.
yeah, yes. No.
Uh, I
Thank
think Selena, she is absolutely amazing example.
you so much. I really appreciate
She's,
it.
she's a fighter, everyone. I want you to know. And I love her so much. And I'm so proud of
Me
her.
too.
I'm happy that you are my friend.
Me
And
too.
I thank you so much that you made this live with me.
You're very
I
welcome. welcome.
hope that it will help the other ladies. And I would like to know, let know everyone that I'm also life and relationship coach. So if anyone is going through, don't hesitate to contact me or Selena in Morocco. Maybe she can help with some tips and so what to do. So
Definitely.
don't let yourself to reach the point that you are scared, that you are alone. No, you are not. You can do it. You can fight it. You are a woman, so you can do everything, right?
Absolutely. Yes, we are big fighters, of course.
Yes. If we are not together, even I mean, we have online and we can call each other anytime.
Of
So
course. Absolutely.
it's
No,
like we are not actually together 24/7.
exactly. Exactly. No, you're right. Absolutely.
Depends how you manage it. It depends how you take it. Like
Yeah.
you have to act accordingly the situation.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you would like to say something. I will give you the last word if you have
Um,
something.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for letting me share a little bit of my story. I would just like to say to anyone who's watching, if there is something you want to talk about in confidence, so on, feel free to reach out to me or to Vera. I know when I initially did my post, like maybe a year ago, a lot of people messaged me privately that had been going through something very similar, and it really maybe gave them the courage to finally talk about it. And I hope, of course, we don't want people to go through this, but we know that a lot of people are going through this. A lot of people are isolated, and it's really important to start talking about it. The more you talk about it, the stronger you will get, and you will find the courage to get out of that situation, because nobody deserves to be in this kind of situation ever, under no circumstances at all. At all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you everyone who
Thank you
are
so
watching.
much.
Anyway, it will still be on. I will make it upload on my YouTube channel. So I will post the link later on. Thank you, my dear. I wish you the best.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.